Thanks, Chair. Thanks very much, ladies and gents. When I last spoke with you at the Senate inquiry into coal seam gas in August, I asked a few questions about the chemicals used in coal seam gas hydraulic fracturing fluids. And you said at the time that you were still trying to work out which chemicals are being used in those fluids, and that you thought there was about 50 or 60 common chemicals in the fluids used by the various companies. Do the companies have to advise you of the chemicals that they're using in the fracturing fluids?
Marion Healy, Director of
Ms.
NICNAS.
Healy, if you wouldn't mind turning your name tag around.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. It's just
she knows who she is.
I know.
Yes, fair enough.
Thank you,
My
Dr.
apologies.
Healy.
Marion Healy, Director of NICNAS. The companies are not required to notify NICNAS. Chemicals that are listed on the national inventory are available for industry to use without necessarily further consultation with NICNAS or notification.
Okay, so you've told us that you assessed about 4 of those roughly 60 chemicals that are used in the fracking fluids. So there's, 55 or so that you still haven't assessed. You also told me that there's a fast tracking process that you're hoping to get through about 3,000 chemicals that aren't yet on the list in the next few years. Are the coal seam gas chemicals on that list of the ones that you'll look at shortly, or what's the time frame for
Yes.
actually working out if these chemicals are safe to be used?
Yes, the fracking chemicals are included in the list that we will use a fast tracking process for, and that process will start in 2000. We're expecting it to start in 2012-13.
Okay, so if the coal seam gas companies aren't obliged to tell you the chemicals that they're using, how do you know which ones to assess?
We've been consulting with the companies as well as with the state and territories, particularly Queensland and New South Wales, but we've also been consulting directly with the relevant companies.
Okay. If the chemicals aren't already on your list, as I understand 55 or so aren't, or rather if they are on the list but they haven't been used in this manner, i.e. in fracking fluids being blasted underground, is there a role for you to assess if this new usage of that listed chemical is appropriate?
Yes, we can do that assessment, and that's what we're planning to do. The states and territories can also make a decision as they make decisions on the licensing arrangements.
Okay, so you can, and in this instance you will, but you're not obliged to?
We will, yes,
you will.
we will. We've included them in the 3,000 fast track.
Okay, but you've just chosen to do that. You're not obligated to do that?
That's correct.
Okay. And just one final question, thanks, Chair. You told me last time that your budget is about $9 million a year and you've got about 60 staff, and that in the last 20 years you've been able to assess 220 chemicals, but you've got 38,000 still to go. And you've mentioned you're implementing a new fast-tracking process that will allow you to get through about 3,000 in the next 3 years. If you were to assess all 38,000 in, let's say, 5 years, at a level to a standard that's appropriate to ensure safety for people and the environment, how much additional resourcing would you need to get through that list in 5 years?
We would have to consider that a bit further. We haven't done the costings for the full 38,000. And I guess the initial 3,000 that we're looking at are predicated on certain availability of information as well as certain tools, and we will be using the experience of doing that 3,000 to determine the feasibility and cost for the larger part of the inventory.
So you can't quite answer that question just yet?
So
there's no point taking that one on notice?
I don't think so, not with any accuracy anyway.
Okay, all right. Well, good luck with the 38,000. I hope you get to them nice and quickly. Thank you.